Picture this. You're just sitting in your living room, you call your dog's name, or, maybe you make some slightly funny noise, and instantly they do it. That adorable, super curious little head tilt. We've all seen it, right? We all absolutely love it, and I bet we probably all have a dozen photos of our dogs doing exactly this saved on our phones right now. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder why they do it? Well, today, in this explainer, we're jumping right into the incredibly surprising psychology behind this beloved canine behavior.
So, the big question, is your dog hopelessly confused, or are they actively trying to understand you? For generations, dog owners have noticed this. You ask a question, you mention the word walk, and boom, suddenly their head goes sideways. Now, a lot of people just write this off as a cute quirk, right? Just dogs being cute to score a treat or maybe a belly rub. But the truth is far more captivating. Researchers and animal psychologists actually believe there is a deeply complex cognitive process at play during these moments. Think about how dogs gather information: sound, body language, scent, emotional cues. Unlike us humans who, let's face it, rely predominantly on vision and spoken language, dogs are taking in this rich, massive tapestry of information from their environment using a really diverse mix of inputs. They read sound waves, they analyze microscopic shifts in your body language, they detect scents we literally can't even fathom, and they pick up on these super subtle emotional cues. It is a massive amount of data to process all at once. And researchers believe that the head tilt, it might actually be a physical mechanism that helps them organize and interpret all of this data simultaneously.
Which brings us to theory 1, the antenna. Let's dive right into the biological mechanics of a dog's hearing. When we compare human versus dog hearing, you really start to see the sheer physiological difference between us and our furry best friends. A dog's hearing is vastly superior to ours. They can detect frequencies literally twice as high as human ears can. And they can identify sounds from some truly impressive distances. Think about it. Think about how your dog reacts to a distant whistle, or a squeaky toy all the way in another room, or, the doorbell ringing before you even hear the delivery truck pull up outside. Because their hearing is so highly sensitive, they are constantly bombarded with unfamiliar noises. So when they hear something unusual or distinct, they need a reliable way to process it accurately. It's basically like adjusting an antenna to improve reception. By changing the physical angle of their head, dogs literally alter the way sound waves hit their ear canals. This slight, tiny movement helps their brain triangulate the exact location of the sound. It helps them pinpoint exactly where a specific noise is coming from, while kind of isolating it from the background noise. So the next time you make some weird whistling noise and they tilt their head, nope, they aren't just posing for a photo. They're literally fine-tuning their biological radar to figure out exactly what you're doing. Moving right along, let's look at theory 2, the thinker. We're going to see how this builds from simple physical hearing into actual canine cognition and language processing. Let's talk about a really specific number: hundreds. This perfectly represents the astonishing capacity of canine intelligence. Research has actually proven that dogs can learn dozens, and in some highly trainable cases, literally hundreds of human words. They aren't just hearing a stream of meaningless noise when we talk to them. No, they are actively scanning our sentences for vocabulary they recognize, words associated with favorite toys, treats, walks, or specific commands. Those trigger a massive cognitive response in their brains. And this leads us to a truly fascinating breakthrough from animal researchers. They observed that highly trainable dogs actually tilt their heads significantly more frequently when they hear meaningful, recognized words. What this tells us is that the tilt is a physical manifestation of intense mental concentration. Think about it from our perspective. When you're deeply engaged in a really important conversation, what do? You naturally lean in, right? You might even tilt your own head. Well, for dogs, this tilt signifies that exact same level of deep focus. They hear a word they know, their brain lights up, and they tilt their head to focus all their processing power on what you're going to say next. Okay, let's shift gears to theory 3, the observer. This one introduces a highly surprising anatomical element you probably never even considered. When dogs are looking at us, they're really trying to see our eyes, our facial movements, and our emotional signals. And believe it or not, a dog's nose plays a massive role here. But actually, scratch that, not for smelling. Depending on the breed, a dog's muzzle can protrude and partially block their lower field of vision. If you want to understand what this is like, just hold your fist right in front of your nose and look straight ahead. It completely blocks out the lower half of your view, right? By tilting their head, dogs move their muzzle out of their line of sight so they can actually observe your facial expressions clearly. And surprisingly, this is exactly why flat-faced dogs, like pugs, actually tilt their heads way less often than long-snouted dogs like greyhounds. They already have a clear view. Mind-blowing, right?
So when we bring the antenna, the thinker, and the observer theories all together, we uncover a much deeper, overarching theme, the emotional connection.
Tracing the evolution of this bond really puts things into perspective. Thousands of years ago, the partnership between humans and dogs began. And over countless generations, dogs didn't just live near us, they evolved alongside us. This incredibly unique, intertwined history created what is arguably one of the absolute strongest bonds in the entire animal kingdom. And the result of all this evolution is the dog sitting in your living room today, a creature that is continuously, almost obsessively, monitoring our emotions, the tone of our voice, and our body language. The head tilt isn't just some isolated little trick, it's the ultimate byproduct of thousands of years of social intelligence and evolutionary partnership.
When your dog stops what they're doing, looks you right in the eyes, and tilts their head, they aren't just processing audio frequencies or trying to look past their nose. They are interpreting your emotions. If we could magically translate that adorable head tilt into an internal monologue, this is exactly what they're saying to us. I'm listening. I'm interested. I want to understand you. It is just a beautiful signal of pure, unadulterated engagement and empathy.
So, to summarize the core scientific takeaways from today's explainer, let's review what the head tilt truly reveals. First, it demonstrates advanced listening skills as they physically tune their ears like little antennas. Second, it shows high-level language processing as they concentrate hard on the words they know. Third, it involves brilliant visual adjustments to read our facial expressions better. And above all else, it is a profound display of emotional intelligence. The very next time you see that head tilt, realize you're witnessing a wonderfully complex, multi-sensory effort by your dog to bridge the gap between their species and ours.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. Did your dog tilt their head today? Remember, it's not just a cute habit, it's a massive multi-sensory effort to connect with you. The next time they do it, ask yourself, are they just trying to understand you, or are they waiting for you to understand them? Keep learning, keep observing, and hey, go give your incredibly intelligent dog a well-deserved treat.